Good morning, YouTube. How are you? Another start of another day. Yeah. Look at all these repairs. These are all for the store stock stuff. All these things got to be fixed, and more stuff to fix. All right, well, let me see. What do we got here today? DM. What do we got here? This looks interesting. This old. Ooh. It's a Bruno from the 1860s. Holy cow. Rosewood Brazilian sidle tuners. Doug. That's the budget they're willing to spend on it. What do we got? What is it? It's a Bruno. Bruno New York. It looks like it's had a bunch of work done to it in the past. Cracked bridge there. Look at that. It busted right off. Got the pyramids. Looks like may have had a neck reset at one point. There's some bare wood up there near the. Look at that! Look at how the fret is way on the end there. Whoa! Maybe the fingerboard was longer at one point. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like someone had the back off of this. You can sort of see, yeah, someone had the back off of this, apparently, to fix separation in the center seam there. All the way at the back. They probably took the back off to fix that, but it didn't hold, or it got left in an attic. I can feel that there's some cleats for this crack here. Yeah, I think the neck has probably been re-glued and reset. And, oh yeah, and someone had the back off of this. We're going to need to take the back off of this as well, again, and get this situation under control properly. No truss rod. The neck looks relatively straight, though the frets don't look that even. Yeah. Okay. Well, another adventure in guitar repair. These tuners look pretty good, actually. Get the ivory, real ivory knobs on there. The elephant ivory. That one looks possibly a little cracked there on the end, but they're not bent or anything, so that's good. Restoring the case. A little dusty. It didn't look too terrible. I have one at home that's much worse shape. Oh, the other thing that's check out these cracks. And I can see right in the mirror, I can see that there are cleats on those. Okay, well, what we're going to have to do is remove this back again. Yeah, see how bad that crack is? See? Yeah, we're going to need to get the back off and get in there. Okay. I see Okay, this is where the end block is. You have to be careful not to crack it, although, you know, with something that's been messed around with, I like that. It's a good sound, actually. Okay, try, see what happens without heat here. All right, I'm encouraged. Got my blowtorch going. Okay. Maybe one side at a time, I think. There's a tough spot there. That could be where there is a brace. Okay, so I think there's glue, you know, on top of the brace here, which is holding it on. So we're going to try taking our spatula and working it in there. Okay, there's one. Do the same on the other side. Yep, that was the issue. Okay, we got one more brace that's got a cling on. You know about them Klingons. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, I'll put this. So there we go. Yeah, you can see where the glue didn't really take there. I suppose those are original. Interesting that one. These are heavier, but how do we do with kerfing? Doesn't look too terrible. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just have to separate these and get these lined up again. All right, that's nice. Let's see some stuff here. Huh. Looks like someone added a mahogany brace here, but just behind the bridge. The chunky cleats here. Also, we've got some stuff going on here. Yeah, we can maybe do something about that. Perhaps replace it. A new one. Get a screw in the heel here. I think they wanted to screw the neck on from the inside. Good idea. All right. Okay. Look at the cool pattern they got going here. It's like as if they were individual blocks. It's kind of cool. These braces seem fairly well adhered. We'll warm these up and try to get these off so we can get this center line lined back up again. Okay. Let's try my wife's prized iron. We'll crank that sucker up. I think it'll get a wider area. If I could get all 4 of these off, that would be nice. You know, get them cleaned up and get all the glue off of there and get that center line aligned. Okay, so I'm going to try a different method here. I've got a bridge patch heating element, which is flexible and it'll conform to the radius of the back here. The iron was just too bulky, and the heat gun, well, it blows everywhere. This one focuses all that heat in one small spot. Yeah, we don't need the screw holding the neck on, theoretically. Alright. Yeah, we don't need that. Some kind of a brace there. Okay. Some, looks like someone added a brace here. Interesting. It's interesting, this brace, the way it's dressed. Here it's braced at an angle to the right. And this one's dressed at an angle to the left. Okay. Well, there's probably a lot of bulging there. We have this piece of spruce looks pretty torn up. Alright, so I'm going to put a piece of tape here and fill these with epoxy and re-drill them. Yep. Okay, let's see how we did here. Beautiful. Yeah, it'll stabilize that whole area there. We'll sand it. I think what I'll do too is that these things look kind of clunky. A little, you know, they didn't really dress the edges. It's, yeah, it's my ADD kicking in there. It's just going to be easier to pop it off and clean it up and put it. So I decided I'm just going to replace all of these with something more consistent and uniform. This is birch ply, high quality. There. Okay, next we have to clean off all this glue from the edge. Looking kind of rough. Gonna try a little glue, de-glue goo. That might help speed things up a little bit, soften this up a little bit, so it's not so crunchy. All right. So yes, this de-glue goo will help reduce the wear and tear. This glue on here is pretty crunchy, and you know, it'll help reduce the amount of tearing and chipping and splintering in the process of removing the glue if we were scraping it dry. So this seems to be working well. And so I'm going to go with this. Just put it on there. I did this section here, and it really did make a difference in how much, um, uh, collateral damage was being caused by the crunchy hard glue. Okay, so the de-glue goo seems to be working very well. It's minimizing the wear and tear and trying to remove this crunchy hard glue embedded in here. And just give it a gentle scraping. The de-glue goo. De-glue goo. Not a sponsor. However, it worked well, and I was able to get the glue off without a whole lot of damage. Now I'm just going to give it a sanding with some 80 grit on a piece of glass. So look at this interesting feature here. It's intentional. How they staggered them there. They're plain here where you can see, where you can't see normally. They did it on this side. They did it down here as well. Isn't that interesting? So here I use my epoxy trick here. Basically put a piece of tape there and just fed some epoxy into there, and we can re-drill those, and that's going to be solid and stable. The rest of this brace looked good and solid and in place, but this was all torn up from just chunks of chips and everything. Replace these with something a little more demure. So here we have the original bridge here. The grain in it's kind of funky, as you can see. It sort of blew out the front there, and I'd really like to. I thought of making a new bridge, but boy, it's hard getting this color. This color rosewood, Brazilian rosewood, that's been exposed to the air for 100 more years. And I think I would like to try to save this. I may want to route this front piece off here. And I found in my drawer of spare miscellaneous bridges, something that comes pretty darn close in color. Yeah, yeah, comes pretty close, so I think I can sacrifice this thing and make a little square plank to put here. I'll probably use marine epoxy and splice in a piece here to replace this front section and sort of maybe, you know, just blend it in with a little dyes and stuff, and you never know, you'd never know the difference. Okay, so I think I'm just going to use my little razor saw, a chisel, and my sanding block, and I'm just going to square that off by hand. I'm just going to go old school on this thing and try to do a nice, clean, neat, accurate job on it. Yeah. Okay, so I've spliced a piece on to the front there. Just let that sit for a minute. So I've made this special call because of the, get my, looking upside down and backwards on my camera here. Yeah, you know, so it's really steep slope there. So I came up with this clamping call. And of course these holes in the back are in at an angle, but the idea was to get it, I might do a little more sanding to get it square with this plane here, so I can put a clamp on here and get a full coverage there. I got some staying pins there so it doesn't slide off. It's such an angle there. I used my drum sander to get this rounded surface. Okay, and I'll clamp these with some regular clamps. Okay, this is a dry run, and these are, I guess, the best combination of clamps I could come up with what we have hanging on the wall there. Yeah, so I think that'll work out just fine. All right, we want to make sure that we're nice and level on here. Sanding block. Let's glue her up. There we go. Okay, a few days later, get these clamps off. One clamp, two clamps, three clamps, Good, I didn't glue it in. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, seemed to all work out pretty good. Tape off. The tight bond is, you know, it's good for bridges. But yeah, on older instruments, I like to try to stay in the lane as far as the traditional materials originally used, if possible. I'm just gonna let that. We're gonna make a cup of coffee and let this stuff soak in here. Okay, we need to clean up all this glue along here, and there is a little bit of a lip here. I'm not too concerned, we'll just file that back, sand it, and we'll hit it with some shellac. I'm going to use a little just regular vinegar here on a rag, and we'll clean up the glue that's squeezed out here along the edge of the back. Okay, I'm going to give this a cleaning, some of the fish glue and just little bits of glue squeeze out, and just do a final. Use some vinegar, helps break down the glue. Okay, yeah, looking good. I put a little chamfer on there. Get her sprung up. Let's just see. I'm going to go a little lighter on the strings. I'm going to use 11s to 52 on this outside a bit. Oh, you know what I need to do before I string it? I need to level off the little part that sticks out on the inside there. Yeah, we got to do that first. So. Well, I don't want to taper it anymore, so I'm just going to take a straight drill and just do the last 25% of that hole there inside. Okay, we didn't need to notch that. That's good. Now, someone before me reset the neck on this. And we see a little bit of, it looks like they use tight bond. A little squeeze out there at the joint. And the other issue, the low E string is closer to the edge than the high E string. I know that I re-glued the bridge in the right place because I used the original holes, and that was all very fine and good. There's also an issue at the nut. We also have, you know, the high E slot is much further in than the nut. That's where we can perhaps make some, help make some corrections there. We're going to need to make a new nut. So back then they used ebony for a nut quite oftentimes, and I have the remnants of an old chunky piece of ebony here from a stand-up bass or a cello. Cut off a chunk of that and make a nut. And a big old mahogany shim there. Okay, a spacing of about 7.5. This neck needs some work. It needs to be refretted, and whoever reset the neck angle on it previously pitched it back so far that really this saddle is higher than I really, this is down here. That's a lot. That's just too much. And so, and this neck needs to be reset, and this board needs to be straightened out and refretted. All right, we're going to go with the steam. We're going to go in through here. You'll see why in a minute. That was easy. Okay, that came off pretty well. There's not really a dovetail. It's just a butt joint, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you call that. Just a butt joint. So, interesting here. It might be hard to see, but this piece of spruce, this light-colored spruce, is spliced in. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, this is like a new piece of wood that was spliced in here. Yeah. At least it looks like it was spliced. It could be the original. I don't know. It's not unlikely it would have broken that neatly around the rosette. So yeah, I think it's pretty much aftermarket. Interesting. So this has been reset before, as I suspected, as I pretty much knew, for when we removed all that glue there. All right, well, let's clean it up and get it glued back on there. It's going to be a little bit of a drop off here, so I think most of the material is going to be on this side, in this area here. It broke. Johnny. I haven't got to it yet.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll probably. I just wanted to get. Zoom tight. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, we have plenty of height on that settle. We're going to be lowering that quite a bit. Excellent. We'll be making a new end cap there because the other one is just too small. Yeah, that's the way it came in. The big gap right there, which is rather curious. You know, these little corner stations here need a little re-gluing. Just glued a bunch of them in were either loose or just hanging around the case somewhere. They're these kind of corner pieces that keep everything aligned, I guess. Just put some glue in there.